Hey, beloveds, you know what? I need to be honest with you. I told you I did not know what my trigger was for me becoming depressed, or what was the trigger that reminded me of the abuse and the bullying that I experienced. I told you all I didn't know. I do know. I've never said anything on my channel because I never wanted it to be said that I was using someone else's tragedy to build my channel. Because, like, y'all, I had, this channel only had like 310 people on it, and it's now at 410. So, like, I didn't have a lot of subscribers. And I never want to use someone else's pain for my platform. I don't want to use somebody else's pain for my platform. When my sister had her stroke, there was one occasion where she was in a hospital, and there was a news flash of a young girl who was missing. She was currently identified as missing. And I remember seeing her cute face, her beautiful face, and I began to pray for her and imagine the pain that her family must be feeling with her being missing. I went to high school with a young lady who's still missing, and it's something about the not knowing that I understand, at least from some level of connectedness, that uncertainty of what has happened to your family member. I understand that a little bit. And I prayed for her family. And as I began to hear more and more about her, I prayed more. And I, like many people in the city, became invested in it. And I prayed that there would be a resolution soon, but my hope was that they would find her alive. Then I saw the news flash that they were looking for her at Arboretum, I believe it was. And I remember calling my mom, and I was distressed for some reason. And my mom said she noticed that my sadness seemed to be more about the case. I went to the junior high school where the young lady was found, who had been taken from her job and murdered like within 30 minutes of being taken from her job. And it was something about seeing that building that did something to me. The school is now abandoned. It made me sad, and I began to remember how I got bullied there. It took me to a place of being bullied. It's hard when you're bullied just for being yourself, because there's very little that you can do. And unfortunately, what can often happen is that self-hatred can creep in. I never told my parents that I was being bullied, so I endured a lot of the pain of those experiences on my own. I was about 11 or 12. I'd actually been getting abused since I was about 8. So by the time I started getting bullied, it was just something I thought I was supposed to accept. I didn't know how to use my voice because I never told anybody what was happening. So I never had the experience of anybody taking up for me or fighting for me. And there were times it made me angry, and unfortunately there were times that I picked fights with people. I ended up going to a high school that I thought would be one where I wouldn't have to be trying to defend myself all the time. I decided not to go to a neighborhood high school. I went to what they called a nerd school because I thought, okay, I won't have to fight here. But a lot of the people who bullied me went to that school. And so high school was more of the same. I got mistreated because a boy who liked me, who I actually liked, was friends with the people who treated me like crap in junior high school. And when I found out he was friends with them, even in my mind back then, by that time I was 15, but by 11 I felt like you're guilty by association, because I can't be friends with you if you're friends with the people who are mistreating me. At that point I felt like he was liking me or telling me he liked me because it was a bet. I didn't trust him. So I decided that I wasn't going to talk to him or go out with him because I didn't trust him, because he was friends with the people who bullied me. Interestingly, I was friends behind closed doors with a lot of people who were on the football team. I had a lot of good friends, and they would call me after school and we would talk and stuff like that, and they would ask me for advice. But in the school building, they didn't associate with me either. I was the type of person that people kind of really didn't hang with. I was awkward, dealing with depression. 15 years old, we're in the phone booth for the school. For those of you who know what a phone booth is, it's a glass case with a telephone in it. When you put a quarter in back then, you can make a phone call. And called my mother and told her I didn't want to be alive anymore. Hung up the phone, walked out the school, only to have 2 men pull up and invite me to get in their car. Fortunately, I was so out of it, I looked at those men like they were crazy, and they pulled off. But I had a lot going on back then to start back up. I was doing pretty okay with managing my sister having a stroke and managing the responsibilities that went with that, but trying to deal with that and dealing with the unresolved hurt that I experienced in elementary school, junior high school, and high school. This time when the pain came back up, I didn't know how to push it back in. This time it was like toothpaste being pushed out of the tube. There have been times I've been able to compartmentalize, and I've learned how to have an argument at work and go home and everything's cool, and vice versa. I've learned how to separate my life, but in this season it hasn't been that easy. So I found myself many days sitting in my car before going into work, wiping tears, waking up in the morning, wiping tears, crying out to God, asking the Lord to help me, and trying to figure out how I'm going to get through the day. I know what the trigger is. I thank God he revealed to me what the trigger is. And I'm believing Abba. I'm believing him. I'm going to be healed. I'm walking into my healing because I have the best partner walking with me. And even though I don't know how he's going to take me, and even though I don't know the way he's going to take me, Abba is going to make sure that I get healed. And I declare, this is my season for healing. For any of you who are struggling with issues of your past, or you've tried to push that toothpaste back in the tube, I pray that if you don't know God, that you ask him to come into your life today. It's the most beautiful relationship that I have ever developed in my life. And even though I'm now struggling with learning him as a loving father and not as a father who wants to punish me all the time, I'm still grateful. There's a song that says, falling in love with Jesus was the best thing I ever did or have ever done. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. I have no regret at all. The only regret I have is that I didn't do it sooner. I was 28 when I got saved. When I fully committed my life to God, I only wish I would have done it sooner. That's the only regret. He has loved me perfectly. He has loved me completely. He has loved me so well. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be a child of God. And I pray for those of you who are battling past trauma. Please don't sit in it. Don't think that you need to compartmentalize it. Please get the help that you need. There are therapists who specialize in post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, depression, anxiety, thoughts of suicide, depression, I think it's childhood trauma and adult trauma. Please get the help that you need. Don't tell yourself that, this is normal. You're just being emotional. You're just being sensitive. Get the help that you need so that you can get to the place of healing where you can really enjoy the life that God has given you the way he intended for you to enjoy it. Beloved, I pray that this helps. As always, remember God loves you and he made you on purpose. Bye-bye.